Hi, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. I am Latoya Hart, and tonight we're going to talk about the four things that you forgot to ask during the holidays. So the blessing is the holidays aren't over. They are still, in progress. And for the most part, for the remainder of the week, there will probably be more events, more get-togethers, and more family gatherings for you and the guy that you're seeing to kind of engage with each other, not just each other, but get to know each other's family. So I'm going to equip you with things that you need to know or get to know while you're spending time with not just him, but his family too. When you're new in a relationship and you just get to meet each other's families for the first time, ideally you want to make a great impression, and you go into it and your mindset is of you want the person's family to get to know and like you, which is normal. Most people want that, but it's not just he wants you to like his family to like you. You want to like them, but the same is for him. Like he wants his family to like you as well. He wants your family to like him as well, and he wants to kind of get to know and like them too. Some of the things that you can do is what through those interactions you can learn a lot about his upbringing, and he can learn a lot about your upbringing, and that will kind of let you know what some of each other's value systems are, so that you can kind of talk about those things and see how the relationship can develop and evolve over while you guys are together. So the number one thing that you need to get to know when interacting with his family is how they spend their spare time when they're during their downtime, when they aren't at work, when they aren't doing certain activities they might be involved in. How do they spend their time? Are they spending their time partying and drinking and doing those kinds of things, or are they spending their time through volunteer work, worship and going to church, um, education? How do they spend their spare time? And the reason this is so important is because once you get into a relationship, the way they spend their spare time will be the way that you two begin to spend your spare time. So you want to make sure that when you're dating this person, that you're pursuing a relationship with someone who is on the same path, on the same track, and kind of spends their spare time in a way that you are in agreement with, and something that you feel comfortable continuing long term. Number two, which is very important, is conflict. Most people don't like to have conversations about conflict very early in the relationship because everything's so new. But it's great to kind of learn about how that person handles and manages conflict, because as conflict will arise, and when it does arise, you need to have an idea of how you two will manage it when it happens. And some people may manage conflict through arguments and fights and those kinds of things, and some people may manage conflict through just having a conversation and talking through whatever it is that they're going through, and that's awesome. But you need to make sure that whichever way that you're comfortable handling conflict, that your idea of handling and managing conflict is consistent with the person that you're seeing. So the best thing that you can do is have some conversation with relatives and see what are their ideas, what are their thoughts, how do they handle and manage conflict. And this isn't something that you should have a debate with or argument with the person that you're seeing about, but it definitely opens up for some conversations to kind of get to know a little more about what their mindset or thought process is as far as conflict. Number three is getting to know how they manage money, which is very important. A lot of money habits are passed down from generation to generation, and your partner or whoever you are seeing learn a lot of their money habits from their family and the way the way they were taught as they were brought up. Some of that can change, but that will require whoever you're seeing to do some due diligence on their part, kind of learn some new things and begin to apply them to their life. But one of the blessings in the holiday season and one of the gifts of the holiday season is this is a perfect time to kind of get to know what your partner's money habits are without having to come out and blatantly ask, what are your money habits? But you can kind of observe and pay attention to the gift giving. What does the gift look like? How's everybody responding to the gifts? How much money is everyone spending on the gifts? Is everyone spending all willy-nilly, and then after the holidays they're strapped for cash and wondering how they're going to pay their bills? Or is everyone being more modest in the gift giving and still able to manage their lifestyle, manage their financial obligations after the holidays? This isn't something that you need to ask, but you can just be very observant in how the family is managing the holidays, and then what the downstream effect is going to be, if there is any at all. And then it could open up for some conversation to see what their money mindset is, and see if it's consistent with yours, and see if it's something that you can something that you guys can build a relationship with, a long-term lasting relationship, because finances are critical to the growth and progress of a relationship. And number 4 is affection. You wouldn't believe how many people get into relationships and their idea or their impression of how affection should or should not be expressed. It can be very different. So some people's upbringing, they come up in a household and in a family where a family is very affectionate. They exchange hugs, kisses, what have you, when you see each other, and it's normal. That's the norm throughout the family. There are other families where it's uncomfortable, or it doesn't seem like that should happen, where families don't meet and greet each other with hugs or what have you. And you have to make sure that that is something that, whatever the affection is in that family, that it's something that you're comfortable with. Because if that person has grown up in a family where affection wasn't something that was expressed, lack affection, there may be some lack of affection in your relationship. So this has to be something that you want to be consciously aware of. And if you aren't comfortable, then you can have a conversation about it. And if it's something that they aren't willing to budge on, or it's not something that they can make an adjustment with, and it's something that you require in your relationship, then that's a decision that you're going to have to make, and decide what the path forward is kind of going to look like. So these are the 4 things that you have to be mindful of, and the things that you must learn, or it's a great opportunity for you to learn during the holiday season, while you're going to family events and you're meeting each other's families. There's a lot that you can take from these meetings, these events. The 4 things that you should learn, if you have not learned already during holiday meetings and greetings, is 1, you need to learn what how does their family spend their time, right? What are they doing in their downtime? Number 2, how do they manage conflict? Are they confrontational? Do they like to fight? Do they like to argue? How are they managing conflict? And are you in agreement with the way that conflict should be managed? Number 4, money. How are they managing money? What is their money mindset? Is their money mindset consistent with your money mindset? Or are there issues or red flags that you need to be aware of? And can you move forward with the existing issues if you identify some? And the number 4 is affection. Is their family affectionate? Are they unaffectionate? And can you move forward in a relationship that lacks affection if they grew up in a household that did not have any affection? Those are my 4 things that you forgot to learn during the holiday. There's still tons of time to kind of begin to ask those questions during ongoing events throughout the next couple of weeks. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the comments below. Thank you for joining. Feel free to like, share, and let me know if there's anything I can do. Have a good one.